Okay, it is March the 26th, Sunday evening, just after the weekly close. Let's do the market outlook and plans for the week ahead. So let's start off with the events. We don't have too much to worry about this week. On Tuesday, consumer confidence. On Thursday, GDP, and then on Friday, PMI. So it's going to be a non-event kind of week here as far as macro events go. We probably have some crypto stuff coming up, so pay attention to what Sapphire posted in the news, things like Matic, etc. Definitely keep an eye on that stuff this week. Let's get into the S&P though. So as far as the S&P is concerned, continuing to show signs of strength that it wants to defend this area. So we talked about it for forever now. 3,900 was this region that we needed to see the bid come in. We lost it. We've since then reclaimed it, and we're looking rather strong going into the beginning of the week. So the monthly VWAP has held its support, which is about to reset here in a few days. But we're now fighting for that yearly. Let's go ahead and look at the ES really quickly just to see. Okay, so it looks a little bit better on the ES too. So definitely that sign that we're trying to fight for the yearly reclaim is here now. So we've been talking about that. That's what we were looking for, was to reclaim this yearly for signs of trading up towards this 44 to 4,300 region, which would be absolutely phenomenal for crypto if this happens. Obviously, this would just give us the all clear signs that trading up in crypto would be a lot easier if the S&P wanted to do this. So I think this is probably what's going to happen this week, is that they're going to continue to fight for this VWAP reclaim, which will give bulls the all clear signal to trade up. I don't think that any of this, trading up towards 42, 43 is going to happen next week necessarily, but I think that we're going to be setting the groundwork to do so. That changes if we get a clear rejection. So if we clearly reject from the yearly again, that would be definitely a game changer for me. If we reject from it again, we're probably going to trade down lower. So it really is as simple as, are we going to decide, how are we going to decide how we're going to interact with this region? If we want to trade above it, we're going to trade up. If we want to trade below it, we're going to trade down. It really is that simple. I don't have any discernible edge in deciding which way it's going to go. So I'm just going to sit back and watch and hope it decides to go up, because that's going to play out better for my bull thesis anyways. If we end up rejecting and we do play out to the bearish side, that will definitely end up affecting how I end up playing crypto. So we should probably segue over into that, because that's the main thing here. So a few different things to talk about. Let's go over like the higher time frame picture. So this is still the plan that I'm leaning towards. I'd still like to see one final pop into the supply zone above 29K to hedge out. And to be honest, what I will probably do is I'll actually probably be, I'll probably go net short there, to be honest. I'm changing my opinion a little bit as time goes on. I think that we still need a little bit of blood to come our way before we trade up higher again. But at the beginning of the week, we could always get this spike up. If we get a spike, tonight or tomorrow or something, probably a good opportunity to hedge. Mind you that you need to pay attention to, some signs of momentum loss and stuff. Don't just sell into a spike. You're going to get run over. So let's see. That's pretty much it, for VWAPs. There isn't too much to go over, right? It's just the same thing as last week. We have last year's VWAP that's going to be lining up with current year's bands. So around 26 to upper 25s is major bid zone. We have super significant resistance at 34 to 35K region. There's some overlaps from previous values over there as well. So this is the final resistance area for me personally. If we were able to get through this, we should be trading a lot higher, but we don't need to be worrying about that, because we need to be trading this level to level, in my opinion. So I don't need to fuss about the levels that are beyond our scope currently. So that's pretty much it for VWAP stuff. Let's keep an eye on fresh VWAPs as they form coming into this week. Keep an eye on premium too, because it is showing signs that it's dissipating. If we go to like a lower time frame, there's a little bit of signs of dissipation, especially as we're starting to spike over on the other side to actually show that spot discount, which we don't want to see. We don't want to see perps trading ahead of spot for continuation. So I'll be keeping an eye on that. So that covers it for that. Let's talk about TPO really quickly. So we have a pretty fat multi-day comp now. So we're currently on the 10th day, between 28.2 and change and 27.3 and change. So about 1,000 point comp. It did shift down a little bit since I most recently drew it. So be keeping an eye on this, primarily for intraday stuff. As far as intraday goes this week, my plan is to be trading intraday Bitcoin with a main focus on trading Arbitrum. I'll be going over that here momentarily, but yeah, definitely going to be focused up on Arb this week. That pretty much is it for Bitcoin. The only other thing to cover is futures, so just going to be continuing to keep a close eye on futures basis to make sure that this doesn't start to trade up to a point where we're starting to see double digits. So we are starting to cross that threshold. By no means is this a sign that the futures are, over exhausted. I've seen this, into the, double digits and stuff, seeing this trading at, 10, 15, 20 points ahead. So it can get a lot crazier than where it's at now. But you're just going to be keeping a close eye on this because, basically as long as the futures curve stays relatively flat, that is indicative of a healthy uptrend. So keep an eye on things like this futures curve and the spot premium, because as long as those things stay intact, it really is a sign that we should continue to trade up. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to trade up, but those are just reasons why, it's easier for us to trade up. We should word it like that. For more information, check out the Paragon group with the link below, where I cover everything from how I trade to how you can develop your own style. All right, so that covers it for benchmark stuff. Let's come over and talk about altcoins really quickly. Wow, this is quite a crazy price action. I haven't really looked at Arbitrum too much today. For altcoin talk, main thing for me is going to be trading Arbitrum this week. I'm going to be trying to mostly do intraday and scalping on it. I'm not going to, I am contemplating doing a swing trade on it as well, but that's going to be separate. So I think that, we're basically following the classic schematic, guys. Let's just go over to Aptos really quickly so I can just show you the schematic instead. Here we go, guys. So I think that, we're in this stage of the Arbitrum. We theoretically could be over here, but that's what risk management's for. So I think that we're probably in this stage of Arbitrum, and that it's probably time for it to start rounding up and start trading up and running over the sellers, so we can lead to the distribution cycle. So it's time to run it back turbo, Aptos style, on Arbitrum, basically. So the only thing is that you got to be really patient with this. The hardest thing is going to be structuring your risk on this thing to not get shaken out before it goes up, because the volatility is going to be hard to stomach. All right, so TLDR, I'm going to be intraday and scalping Arbitrum, and then I'm probably going to be trying to do a swing trade on it as well. Let's touch on a couple other altcoins really quickly before we finish this up here. So this one, this CFX, I forget, like Korea coin, whatever it is, it traded in my bid zone. So this is one that I'm going to be paying very close attention to. I like where it's at. The risk definition is nice on it. So I'm going to be paying very close attention to this. It's going to be remaining at the top of my list, and this is probably one of the only altcoins I'm going to look to bid if I do some higher time frame bidding this week. Injection protocol still looks pretty good, so keep an eye on INJ. This is one of the very few coins that I do like still. Mask in the same boat. Mask looking really strong. Mask is looking to make fresh all-time highs this week, almost certainly. Basically left me in the dust. It traded exactly where I wanted it to come this weekend. My alert didn't go off, but it came right into my bid zone, and it's trading up. So Mask is one that if you have an opportunity to jump on the rocket ship, jump on it. RLC got beat down pretty hard. We're going to ignore that one for the time being. Link, kind of the same boat. STX came into my bid zone as well. I saw my alert pop off on my phone. So keep an eye on this one. It looks, a little bit beat down, but it is testing its yearly bands right now. So this one looks pretty good. IMX is going to be one of the last ones. It got beat down pretty hard, but if it starts to do a reclaim, then you're looking pretty bullish on this one. It's got pretty strong support and pretty limited resistance, so I still like IMX. And then BNB is the last one. So BNB is basically like my safe altcoin that I'd be looking to play, because this is a lower volatility altcoin. It's not going to give that much upside, but it's also not going to give you too terrible on the downside if you're wrong. So I still like BNB because the structure is really good on it, and we don't want to fade CZ. He's running the show right now. So that's it for altcoins. As far as volatility and liquidity goes, we're still trading relatively liquid, and we still have a fair amount of volatility. So clicking buttons this week is going to be pretty spicy. So I definitely plan to, I was a little slower last week. I plan to heat things up again this week and get clicking. So that does it for the outlook. Really quick on content. So that does it for everybody. Everybody have a good week. Good luck, and yeah, cheers.